Hello everyone. Today we have two videos for you. One is the kernel density, and in the next video I will explain the zonal statistics tool. The kernel density tool, as you can find here in the search toolbar in ArcMap, I will open that. And we are going to use this tool to calculate the density of street trees in the city of Vancouver. And by the zonal statistic tool, we will calculate the average tree coverage in each dissemination area in the city of Vancouver. So basically, dissemination areas are the finest census area file that you can find in Canada. So let me open the kernel density tool. Okay, so what we need is an input point file, which in our case is the street trees. The output raster will define the location, and the output cell size is basically the cell size for the output raster data set. So what would you like to be the size of the raster data? And the search radius is basically the search radius within which to calculate the density of the street trees, for example. If the input units are meters, depending on the projection that you're using, which usually for the city of Vancouver is the UTM Zone 10 North, which is a metric system, the output area unit will default to square kilometers. So let's start by adding the points here. So I will go to add data and add trees Vancouver. And let's see that. Okay, so this is the street tree data. You're familiar with that. So this would be our input. So I will drag and drop that into the input point data set. So the output raster, I will put that into my presentation data folder, and I will call it kernel trees. So for the raster data sets, usually you need to keep the name very short, usually less than 13 characters. No spaces, no special characters, so make sure you just give it a proper name. I would change the raster output cell size to 10 meters. And I'm going to calculate the density of trees and the search radius for about like 100 meters around each point, around each tree. So we want to know basically how many trees would fall within the 100 meters of another tree. So the density goes higher or lower depending on the number of trees around each search radius. Everything else looks good. Let's click OK. And let me turn off the trees data. So as you can see, this is a raster data set, it's not a polygon. You can click on this icon here, the button here, identify button, and then click on any of these rasters to see the values. So the higher the value or the darker the color, the higher density of trees in that area. So comparing a unit scale factor of meters to kilometer will basically result in the values being different by a multiplier of 1 million. Or in our case, it's basically 100 meters by 100 meters, so it's basically by the multiplier of 10,000. And as you can see from the values here, the darker the higher the value and the darker the color means the higher density of trees, for example, in this area. Okay, so in the next video, we will use this data set, this raster data, to calculate the average density within each dissemination area in the city of Vancouver to see, not in all of the Vancouver, basically it's just a selection of dissemination areas, but we want to calculate which dissemination area in those collection are the greenest. See you in the next video.